Dodge, you snuck in. How you doing? So looking for new ideas here for next week. Let me just scan for some wide bars. Flip this over to the S&P 500. Walmart. There you go. Earnings in 2 weeks. I'm surprised no one said anything about this. I don't know, maybe you did and I missed it. Someone wasn't maybe looking at this yesterday. 3 bars on a rising 20. 17, 115. Those are calls. Got to look at puts. No premium. That looks good for next week. Yes. Wouldn't be bad at the end of the day. An initial position. It is at some resistance. Target. Costco. Dodge. They've been keeping you busy. Let's turn this on over here. On. Okay. That's good. So what do you do? What do you do? Bankruptcy law, if I remember? Oh, a debit settlement company. Okay. So it's in that area. So it must be busy. Say the economy's booming, but I don't know who's measuring that. Costco's where it should make a turn. I'm just going to set an alert near today's high to see if it turns around next week. Well, today's high. I mean, if it got a turnaround day on Monday, yeah, well, set an alert. We'll see what happens. Dollar Tree, Dollar General. So I'm just going through and again, I've got all of these subsectors here. There's 142 of them. I sorted it by weekly percent change. I had that in the S&P, so going back here, medical distribution. And that's not that's a different sector. Healthcare's got a lot of different sectors. Just regular healthcare, like medical distribution, medical devices, pharmaceuticals, HMOs. This is going to report earnings next week. This is going to report earnings next week. But it looks good. Topping tail. Ignored. Same in the pattern there. Department stores don't look good. Macy's. I think Thomas mentioned this the other day. Just hanging there. Yeah, yeah, you can make a scan like that. All the moving averages above each other, and if you can put in the code this. Let's see. Or maybe something like this. You can apply it to a moving average. If I can give you the code, but like this, right? Just like that, 10 MA up. If you use this code, it says that that moving average, looking back 1 bar, 5 bars, compare the 5 to the 10, so on and so forth, that the moving average is sloped upward. So you can apply that to whatever moving average you want. And then if you're looking for uptrends, which that's what you said above, you could just put DI minus is above DI plus is above minus. And that'll make sure that you got a little bit more of an uptrend. And if you added ADX being above, say, 20, you'd have, 20, 22, you'd have something that was trending. NVGC. Yeah, that looks good. That was mentioned a few times this week, I think, on this bar. Grocery stores earnings next week, Thursday. Maybe it pushes up into the earnings report. The rest of them look like garbage that are in the sector. Here's medical devices. That doesn't look good. But Medtronic should be in here, right? Because that's a medical device. There it is. Looks great to me.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. If we weren't in it, that would be a long for Monday.
Let's see if
Yeah,
there's any others that look good. That one looks good.
agree, Bali. Yeah, Bali just found it. Yeah, I've been watching this for a week. I'm just walking
Yeah.
in the door, and yep, I had an alarm go off too.
So that one triggered along, if you like.
Agree. Looks good.
It's got room to go up. That one looks good. So I don't know. There must be something that looks real bad in this sector because that medical device chart looks terrible, but this looks great. And it's really beaten down. You see the weekly chart. So there's one that's beaten down. That one, if it takes out today's low. So this is like when we talk about bar by bar analysis, right? This so far is a sell setup that's not working initially. But what if it was to take out today's low on Monday? That would be a great short. So I just set an alert. If it goes up, it goes up. There's one that looks bad. That looks bad. Neutral, bad. Rolling over, bad. Well, you can see the sector looks terrible, but there's a few things in there that look pretty good. That looks like it's going to keep going down, breaking down. Earnings coming up.
Ricky.
There's a lot of stocks in this sector. You can see down here, 47. There's maybe a put spread down for next week. Just keep an eye on. Gap down on earnings, maybe,
All right, yeah.
maybe. Well, and there's MDT is the best looking one. Earnings are still more than 2 weeks away, so it's going to keep going up. And look at the volume on the bottoming tail bar when it retested this low. Remember, these dots require 3 bars, so this dot wasn't there until this bar was done. Actually, this bar, right? 1, 2, 3. So you got to keep that in mind when you look at these charts and you say, oh, the dot was there and it bounced off of there because there was a pivot. No, the software put the pivot there today. And some software platforms won't even put the pivot there until this bar is complete. But this one does it before the completion. But that was we've used the term poke bar. So there was a pivot down there on a 65-minute. So there's nothing to suggest this isn't going higher. But can't break that low. So poke bar is just a term that I came up with when I was doing the bar by bar course the end of last year. And it was to point out that it's, the software may not mark it as a pivot because it doesn't meet the definition of 3 higher lows to the left and right. But if we apply some common sense, I call it a poke bar. And so let's say it's got 2 bars to the right and it's got 3 to the left, and you got some other kind of bar that happened that it's not a pivot. Well, it's still poked down. So in a smaller time frame, it's going to be a pivot. Now I'm pointing out to recognize something that your eye gets trained to look for these dots or pivots, however your software marks it. Well, like say this one here, that there's no pivot down here. I mean, these bars probably are equal highs. So I don't even know. I don't know if they're all equal, but to find one exactly, there's support down there. You look at the bar, you apply bar by bar analysis. It's like, hey, there's a big wide range bar that went up. Odds are there'd be buyers down there, even though it's not a pivot. I highly, of course, recommend the bar by bar course. Even if you've got the swing course, I just did it so much differently with a lot of short videos and explaining many more nuances. All right. Medical device, beverages. That new all-time highs. Now we look for patterns. All right, that's going to report earnings next week. That's not going to report earnings, but it's a breakdown and a deep retracement into a wide bar. So there's nothing to do. But it could transition lower, possibly. I don't know what it's going to do, but the retracement into this bar is negating it. But if it was to form a bearish 180, so what am I going to, I'm just going to set an alert down near today's low and forget about it. And I'm not interested if it takes out the highs because it's not a directional pattern. Coca-Cola, that's just whatever, looks like it could go up, but I'm not interested. There's Monster Beverage, Coca-Cola. There's a 1, 2, 3. That's weird. Something's wrong there. It didn't report earnings, I guess, when it was supposed to. So I would definitely look into that. But if it takes out the high, remember this one? This one was like a monster in 2002 and 2023.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
a lot of these podcasters, they have a can of this, so they're paying them advertising. You have a can of it next to them, and they're whoever they're interviewing. Earnings next month. Could be interested in it at $50. Maybe if it nosedives down there. That's all of them. Like drug manufacturers. It's a lot of healthcare, different subsectors. There's your Biogen, Dan. Very slow.
Yeah, John, your eggs, GM, and Living. Yeah, I'll put them both on the list.
Merck, trading range, still uptrend. Look how it so where's major support on this chart? Sam, you know too much already. It's not fair. Yeah, but you're right. So major support is the low prior to a higher high. There was no higher high over here, even though it did form two pivots, which created support, but this is a major support. Uh, Tobacco. There's a correction bar. It's kind of close to the prior high, but see, this is the best. These are the best ones right here, right here, where you get this wider bottoming tail bar, but it happened after a momentum move out of a consolidation. I'm in it, Seuss. I said it early in the morning. I'm not sure if Dan put it in the letter. It triggered. I'll look for you. Yes. Bought at 98.37. Wait a minute. That's been a long. That correct yet? From this day. That's what's in the list. So it's been along from here. Sat through that gap down and back up. This kind of stuff is not unusual for something coming up off of a deep retracement, but now it's rebuilt. I'm not in from that low price, I can tell you that. I got it at 101.91. SLV. 20-week MA. Well, that's equivalent to the 100 on the week on the daily. Yeah. Which let me see where that is, because it's about the price. Try for yourself today at collarsco.com. Moving average. If it went all the way down there, but it shouldn't go down there. And that's pretty far away, Sam. I mean, here's where the support is, where the 50 is. So somewhere down here, if it stabilizes, then we could look at a volume profile. We talked about that yesterday. It's called volume at price, I think is what it's called. That's interesting, right? Big there. Down here. So there's where the pivots are, but the way it moved up so aggressively, there isn't a lot of support. I mean, if it was to come, you know what, we'd be interested. I mean, just say that as a reference point. If it just nosedived down there next week, look where the big volume poke is there, right? 50 MA. Yeah, we'll see. Let's look at the miners that got killed. Most of them are in uptrends. Nothing to consider as a buy. Not yet. All of them. And what happened with you see what is it? Fizzler? Not Fizzler. First Solar? Let's see. Maybe next week it sets up. That breaking down. Look at First Solar. That are the big ones. So I don't know what's holding it up. That doesn't look great. Better. Not good. How the hell is it going to go up? Most of the things look terrible. Separate the report from all of the other ones you looked at. What made it stand out? What made her win? Oh, if you're inclined to watch something like this, that's on a pivot to see if it turns around, but I'm not. What happened with our REIT, Dan? Pretty sloppy. We didn't, it looked great here. It could recover. Doesn't look so great.
Yeah, no, that's not down. There's a downside shakeout.
Yeah. And look at the weekly. The weekly's a buy.
Getting. Wow. Yeah, we could have. I mean, we're a little late on the daily. The entry was Wednesday's high.
Earnings in a couple of weeks, but look at that reversal.
That's sloppy. Let's put spread.
I know it's sloppy, but maybe it breaks out.
Man,
I think there. Look at this one.
that's much better.
That one led the way up. That one's probably the best. It was pretty whippy, but that's breaking out.
Yeah,
Let's
Sam.
hold on.
Tan looks okay. I saw Fizzler yesterday. It's Fizzler's the biggest one in tan.
Critical workloads quickly without disrupting day-to-day operations.
That one looked good.
It's a bull flag.
Little 1, 2, 3, 4 kind of thing there.
Yeah, bull flag daily.
And there's that piece of crap you picked.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's see. I mean, that FRT, that's another good example of we only did half into the close on that breakout bar
Mm-hmm.
as it triggered and looked great. And the back half never triggered.
Yeah.
So at least, the loss was half. But, we always have that discussion. Taking
I mean,
to the close.
I think that's hard for anybody to accept until you've been doing this for a while. And what's hard to accept is something that looked so good. I'm trying to do this so I don't mess. Oh, I don't know. I can do it like this. I can.
That was great.
So we do it that we can do it this way. Well, it's not fair, but you see something like that,
Right.
and it's like looks amazing. And you rack your brain trying to figure out, why that happened. Probably unless you know something about this particular REIT, you just wouldn't know. It must be something not as good with this one as some of the others. Let's look at the it's 32. Interest rates doing nothing. See Bitcoin. Let's see if today falls apart. Mag's a mess. Oil, not doing much. S&P's inside day. Tick extreme. Bearish tick extreme. Yeah. Dow, nothing. Transports, not bad, not good. We'll see which way that goes. NYSE, Little breakout failure. Yeah, and gold. Sectors. Consumer staples. Defensive. I think we should do this one, Dan. I know it's a little sloppy, but put a stop on under this low. I just think
Yeah,
dollar
no,
wise, it's not going to give us a lot. Percentage wise, maybe,
I know you're not looking at it, but look at the weekly, monthly. We're nice downside shakeouts.
let's
So
see. So maybe it gets through this area. I think it could get up to the 200 MA,
I like it.
you know. Walmart looks great. Campbell Soup, it's too close to a declining 50 and resistance. Pepsi, close and up a lot. This probably doesn't have premium to do a put spread, but that's more of a put spread pattern. Tyson Foods. Eh,
Take the road ahead for stock with a big unknown now revealed. Let's welcome in our panel today, CNBC contributor, fund cut Tom Lee, and Workbook investor finance.
Tom Lee is on CNBC. What's he going to say about his Ethereum and Bitcoin?
Who's on?
Tom Lee.
Yeah.
He was saying at the end of last year, like the S&P was going to go to 9,000. I mean, he's been right as far as being bullish all last year.
I don't see Tom Lee. I see the Harvard guy.
Yeah, they just switched to the. He's Walton, not
Well, I heard him say,
Walton.
one thing the other day that, yeah, the Bitcoin and Ethereum weakening because of the love for gold and silver right now.
Just Tom Lee.
Trades that I highlight
Yeah,
so dramatic
the two of them are on at the same time.
as the run that we've seen.
Yeah, well, I think it is a good choice with that share.
All right, SanDisk, we made our target on the call spread. Very nice, 2 cents.
Clearly, the market is rethinking the implications of a new Fed share. I think the timing was a surprise because they all kind of came out last night. And I think it's very healthy
$460.
seeing some profit taking because that was a juggernaut trade that I think in many ways was like a vortex sucking risk appetite from everything else into those two trades.
You think those two trades are done? You talk almost as if you think this is merely a pause that might refresh. The velocity of the move out of silver today is somewhat startling to look at. The market's not supposed to act that way. Yeah, I don't care what happened back in 1980 or whatever. It's not supposed to.
Did your friend exit his silver trade?
Jim Kelly, I have no idea. I'll ask him though, definitely next time I talk to him.
I mean,
And I have another big silver trader at the gym. I'll ask him too.
About stocks, and we will. But these are the moves that have grabbed everyone's attention. Gold, silver, dollar, probably find a few other things too. When you, I agree with Tom, when you have so many momentum players that join gold and silver, just playing that strength, that's where the type of reaction you get, that move down and then bullet. And it's
Oh, damn, silver almost got cut in half. Or 40%, whatever, in 2 days.
I don't know. There's
Yeah.
so many different posts on Twitter X And there's a lot of people on there that are just indicator junkies. But one guy who I see doesn't put any indicators, and so it caught my attention. But he pointed out that going back, I think he showed a daily chart on silver. If you were to try and get on board and going back 2 bars to put a stop, it was like $40,000. And it was like, it was like, wow. Somebody jumping on board there, whoever bought up there, they didn't have a stop and they just probably got decimated, killed.
Maybe
I didn't fact check what he was showing, but thought to myself, wow.
we digested, 3 years of 15, a lot of these is precedent. There could be.
And you said Jim got called by the exchange saying they wanted him to put up $1 million to cover the risk or margin.
And that was in a winning trade.
Yeah.
Why, I didn't understand.
Those contribute to a drawdown. Last year it was
Mhm.
took us down 20%.
Professor, how does that summation from student lead sound?
Yeah.
The other 493 stocks outperform or not. Yeah, 10% this year, but the difference, the rest is 10 to 15 or even more. It's really hard to say what that still moving.
Let's see here.
Through of these great.
That's pretty bullish these days.
To the importance of AI, and it's the tentacles and AI, they all benefit. I think a lot of the progress in AI is invisible at the moment.